Okay, folks, here we are live from the big AGSC413 rocking Reno from the Bonanza down to Midtown. Good morning, everybody. I see I've got about 35 folks logged on. That's a little more than half of our group. I apologize for having to go this route, this online stuff, but this is what we're stuck with given the circumstances today, and we will proceed as best we can through the rest of the semester, or hopefully maybe there's an outside possibility that we may be able to come back before the end of the traditional semester, although that is the hope for that is waning even as I speak. Hopefully those of you who are in the dorms are working it out with administration. I think if they don't come up with, I thought that if they don't come up with reimbursements for the semester, that there might be some class action lawsuits associated with it, which might get their attention a little bit. So I understand now that that they are talking about giving some money back. For those of you who are in dorms, have paid money to stay in the dorms and for meal packages and so on and so forth. So I don't want to go on with that too much. This is where we're at. This is what we're going to do the rest of the semester, is this online approach. I tried to stay away from all the stuff coming out of campus because I am pretty sure it's going to crash. And so I decided to go outside and use YouTube Live to conduct our lectures and our classwork the rest of the way, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. I see I've got 42 online now. That's looking a little bit better. With YouTube Live, these will be archived. You can go back and look at them again if for some reason you missed them. And they do have some ADA compliant characteristics associated with it. So that's why we're going with YouTube Live version. I also have this interactive chat that we can communicate. If you do have questions, we will communicate via this live chat. Keep in mind that there is a several second delay if you're trying to ask a question. So if there is some very awkward silence, it's because I'm reading and waiting for something to come in. Other than the live chat, we will be using email. So be sure you check your email on a regular basis. That's the way that I will be distributing assignments and handouts that we'll be going over in the lecture. So be sure you pay attention to your, as you did for this, to your official UNR email. I have a question here that says, will you be posting updates to our grades online so we will know where we stand? Yes, what I will be doing is I'll communicate that with you via email, so it's private. And I'll try and keep you up to date on where you are. If you're interested in what your grade is at this point, send me an email, and I'll get to you just as quick as I can get to you. I got somewhere around 1,200 emails last week for various things, trying to get this whole business of what we're doing now on campus up and running, and just trying to decide what we were going to do. So it may take me a few days, but I'll get it to you. So that's how we'll do that, is via email, so I won't be violating any FERPA laws online. So we'll communicate grade-wise via email. And once again, it appears as though live chat is working pretty well. So if you do have a question that I don't cover this morning, and I don't really intend to keep you the whole time this morning, we'll go over what we need to go over, and then we'll start in earnest. We'll make sure this is all up and running and working properly, and then we will start in earnest on Wednesday with some material and some assignments. And I'm going to talk about an assignment today that I sent you a link over the weekend already for. So I'll get to that in just a minute. So go ahead and send in your live chat questions as we move through this. So if there's any problems with the broadcast or with the archives, not being able to get to them, or if they get garbled up, sometimes that happens and they just won't operate properly. Please let me know as soon as you're aware of that. So back to grades a little bit. I want to talk about how to generate a grade for the class. I'm having to rethink a lot of things here on the fly. Normally we have two big projects toward the end of the semester that take a lot of time. They're big projects, but they take a lot of my time because there's a lot of help that I have to give to students. Most students come by the office sometime for hours, and so we can't do those things. So I'm having to sort of change things up to see what we can do and what's possible. And I've got some ideas on that. We're going to be more than taking big assignments. We're going to be looking at smaller, shorter, more focused assignments to make up some of those points. So let me check my live chat. I got a couple of questions going here. Got one question: how will we be taking the test for this class? That's a great question. I don't know yet. Right now, what I'm thinking is that we will have one more exam. But I think that exam is going to have, obviously it's going to have to be some kind of a take-home exam. And I'll have to work the logistics of that out. I just haven't had a chance to do that yet to see, obviously we could probably do it by email. That might be our best option here. And so it's obviously going to have to be some kind of a take-home situation. So let me worry about that. We've got plenty of time. I'll get that figured out, and I'll convey that information to you as quickly as possible. Hopefully by Wednesday I'll have all the rest of the bugs worked out. So the other question was, how are you going to administer exams? Once again, I think we're going to have one more exam. That's my plan, and that was what was in the syllabus, to have one more exam. And I think we will. Right now, I'm leaning toward doing some kind of a take-home exam. So, don't worry about it too much right now. We've got plenty of time. I'll get the information to you as quickly as it sort of happens in my mind here how to do this. Let me talk about what I do know about some of the assignments and how they will be changed up a bit. And this goes along with that whole concept of how are we going to generate a grade for the class the rest of the way. And it's going to be, we're going to use some smaller assignments, some smaller homework-based assignments. And so there's going to be, right now I see it as a series of rhetorical presses based on some articles and on some videos, and also on some interviews, some personal interviews that you could do via phone. I've got to get a hold of some people to make sure that they can clear their schedules for 50 some odd students to do some short phone interviews for assignments. And so that will be forthcoming as soon as I can contact them and make sure it's okay to spend their time working on this with you as a student. So there will be some form of a final take-home, or it'll be a single exam. We can call it a final, I guess, for lack of a better term. And so, like I say, we'll talk more about that as I know a little bit more about it. We've got to cover some lecture material, but I'll let you know But right now it looks like it's going to be some kind of a take-home format. I just want to say this too, as you begin to send in these rhetorical preces, send me a professional document. Don't send me something halfway wadded up that you scribbled out on the back of something that you ripped out of a hotel notepad, which I got several of those on the last assignment. Type these things up, send me a professional document, and things will go a whole lot faster that way. I can read it. I don't have to try and decipher your printing skills or your longhand skills or combination of whatever it is these days. So type it up, send me a professional document, make sure it's organized appropriately, and so on. So I will be emailing you lecture materials and assignment links. Let's talk about the link that I sent over the weekend. It's a YouTube video of Evelyn Glennie, who is a renowned percussionist who is profoundly deaf. And I usually pull a little piece out of this this video and use it in class. However, this time around, I'm going to have you watch the whole video, and I want you to write me a rhetorical précis on this video. So check your email. The link should be there. I think I sent the email on Saturday. And so check the link, view the YouTube video. I think it's about 25 minutes long, something like that, altogether. And I want you to write that rhetorical précis, and I also want you to, once you have the précis done, I want you to write me 4 more sentences. Remember, a rhetorical précis is only 4 sentences. And that I don't want 6 sentences, and I don't want 3. I want 4 sentences. So after you've done the rhetorical précis, what I want you to do is to write me 4 more sentences on how this message that she relates in the video can relate to your current job or your dream job, one or the other. Maybe you already have your dream job, I don't know, but I want 4 more sentences that explain how you can take this information that she imparts on how to really listen, how you can apply that to your current job or your last job or your dream job. So you're not going to get out of it. Everybody's got either had a job or wants a job if you don't have one right now. And so that's what I want, 4 additional sentences explaining how you can apply the message that she gives in the video to your current employment prospects or situation. So that's what I want you to do. So I'm gonna stop there with that, and I'm gonna look at. I've got some live chat questions coming in. We'll see if we can get those things covered. So, why isn't Canvas being used for grades and exams? I don't use Canvas. That's why. Are we sending the rhetorical précis via email or another link? You are sending it via email to me. Via email. Okay. And when is this assignment due? This assignment will be due on Friday this week. So I'll give you the rest of the week to handle it. Okay. If you have more questions coming through or want to send some more questions, go ahead and do that. That is mostly what I wanted to discuss with you today. We'll give it a little bit of time lag here. Sometimes the time lag for this live chat, I've noticed, can be several minutes at times, so don't get too frustrated with it. I'll try and answer them as quickly as I see them pop up on the screen. That's the direction that I want to go this semester. On Wednesday, what you can expect is some more sort of classic lecture material. I will send out the lecture material via email, and so you can look it over beforehand. And if there's any PowerPoint presentations as we get on into the rest of the semester, I'll send those things. Any class materials that I would hand out in a normal classroom situation, I'll be sending to you via email over the rest of the semester. Let me check my notes, see if I've covered everything that I really want to cover this morning. No, I don't. So I'll give it just a few more seconds here, a little bit more for potential online chat questions. And if you don't have any, this is how you can, once again, this is how you can expect to do this via YouTube. At least on my end, it looks like it's working pretty well. We're still missing a few students, but they will be archived, and you can look at it at your leisure once they go up. It takes them a few minutes to archive the things and put them back up, put them up on my channel. So, okay, it doesn't look like we've got any more questions coming in. Oh, one just popped up. Is there any way for you to email us the instruction paper for the presses? I can do that. You can Google it up. But I can, I assume you're talking about how to write a presses is what I'm assuming. I will find something and I will email that out to you. So participation is still a part of your grade. That'll be a little problematic. Is participation still a part of our grade? Not much we can do there. We have some alternative circumstances that we're having to deal with. So don't worry about that so much. The participation, I will note your participation in the handouts or in the handing back in of assignments. We'll call that participation. Eh? Is there going to be an attendance for these live chats? That's a good question. I've talked to a number of folks about this, how we might handle that, and my stance on it is this. These things are going to be archived. People's lives are being upended. We're going to try and keep them as routine as normal. But realizing that people's lives are upended for all kinds of reasons, one of these things archived so you could look at them sort of at your leisure. If you can't make, you can't make the 8 o'clock lecture time, that's okay. I would prefer you to do that if possible, and I think it makes sense to do that. But there's really no way that I could hold you to any, I or anyone else really can hold you to any kind of an attendance structure. It's just not feasible, not possible, as long as we're on these online as long as we're on this online situation. If you don't turn in assignments, I know that you're not looking at the lectures. There will be things in the lectures that will be on an exam later on. So it would behoove you to do that, and but to hold you to this period of time, and attendance is just I think is out of the question for anyone to require that. So, but that's my opinion, and that's what we're going to do in this class. What other people do in other classes is their business. So there won't be an attendance aspect for these live chats. And so what I'll quickly see is the number of students like decreasing pretty quickly, probably. But be sure you take a look at them in all seriousness. We'll try and carry on as best we can and convey the information to you that you need as you leave here, and hopefully some of the stuff will make sense once you get out into the real world. So, any other questions? I'm not seeing any more questions coming in. Now's your time to do that. And I'm going to make a note myself to send Precious info via email. I will go ahead and do that. This is something that you probably should have already know something about, but I'll go ahead and send it anyway, and we will make the best of it. So, any other questions? Any questions about UNR? I'll tell you what I know, and that's not very much because it changes every 5 minutes. Last week, what was going to happen, who was going to do what, and how we were going to do anything. So it was pretty extraordinary to see that what kind of leadership we actually have on campus. All right, I hope all of you've got plenty of toilet paper. That's kind of a crazy one, isn't it? We don't have any food, but we got toilet paper. So if we ever get food, we'll have toilet paper. Okay, I got a couple of questions popping up here. So is campus supposed to be closed for the rest of the semester as of now? What we have been told is it is closed until further notice. That's all I can tell you. I can tell you what my opinion is. Here we're back on the 23rd of March. My guess is we're going to, and if we go 30 days, the governor, if you haven't heard, has shut everything down for 30 days. And so if we go 30 days, according to unless the governor lifts something, and we go 30 days, that puts us to the 23rd of March, or of April rather, which is 1 week, basically 1 week, maybe a week and a half left in the semester, not counting final exams. So my guess is, and I think it's a pretty good guess right now, is we're done for the semester. There won't be any students will not be coming back for classes unless some kind of a miracle happens. So campus is closed for the rest of the semester. The faculty, we had to put down, we're told we have to put down when we are going to be on campus. They're going to monitor us when we're on campus, and they're trying to keep us up here at a minimum amount of time when we're here. So it's pretty much a ghost town this morning. Of course, it always is at 6 o'clock when I get here, but it's a ghost town across campus right now. I'm guessing there's not more than 3 people in the building, in the ag building right now. So let's see. I've got some more. Questions. I hope that answered it. Do you know anything about the grades being changed to pass fail? I have not gotten any information on that at all. That is one of the first questions that students were going to ask, and evidently it was not anticipated by upper administration. So as far as I know, unless I'm told different otherwise in the future, we have not been told that there is any change from grades to pass fail. A good question. Do I know anything about summer classes? Is the next question. Um, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. Do I know anything about summer class? I don't. I have no idea what, and I don't think upper administration does either at this point. Uh, I think the model that they're working on is 30 days from now. We'll be able to pull out of this thing, and by the time summer hits, we'll be able to move back into regularly scheduled programming. If this goes on for 45 days, that'll still put us into summer. So 30 to 45 days, I'm guessing, before this thing is over. And if that's true, I think they'll go back to regularly scheduled classes in the summer. I have not heard of suspending any classes. In fact, we have heard quite the opposite. No suspension of classes, that it's all going to be online, and they are going to want us to carry out or carry through with the semesters, the current classes through the semester, and finalize them at the end of the semester. And so I've not heard anything about summer classes at this point at all. More questions about UNR. I'll tell you, and once again, I'll tell you what I know and what I don't know. And I don't know a lot more than I know about what's going on here. So I did hear that last Friday they were doing beta tests with Canvas, and it crashed on campus. My guess is there's going to be a lot of Zoom crashing all over the country today as well. So we'll see. They've made arrangements for research that has to be monitored on campus. They've made arrangements for that to happen. Everybody that's an employee on campus has had to fill out some manifesto form as to how to get a hold of us, when we're going to be on campus, what building we're going to be in. They're trying to limit the number of people that are actually in a building at any one moment in time, it seems like. So as to the dorm stuff, I don't know how many of you are in dorms. That's another thing altogether. I did hear, I think I mentioned it earlier, I did hear they were talking about a 25% dorm refund, which I don't think will cover the entire rest of the semester, but they've had to back up on that. Over the weekend, they got so much backlash from the news and so on and so forth, and students as well, and parents complaining about that. So here we are. Strange times. I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. I know they had one of these situations in 1918, and I used to hear the old folks talking about what was going on then. And I even wrote an article about it not too long ago. If I think about it and can find it, I'll put it up for you. Very strange times that we're in. We'll see what the governor has to say as well about some things. I know they've had to modify some of the things that they've talked about over the weekend as well. And we now have some kind of, I think the former CEO of MGM is now our state director of the coronavirus effort, for what that's worth. So yeah, just, the main thing is that don't have a cow. Everything's going to be cool in class. We're going to do the best we can do. And I realize everybody's, life is messed up right now, including mine as well. So rest assured, we'll get through this. We'll get you finished up, and we'll try and do it, and hopefully have you learn something that you appreciate by the end of the semester. We'll see how this thing works for everybody. So Unless I get another little chat question here momentarily, I'll sign off until Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock. And the reason I want to kind of do these things live too, rather than just record them and put them up, is so we have this ability for live chat for you to be interactive with what we're talking about, what we're doing here. So just give it another little bit, and we will then call it a day if I don't see anything here. It sometimes, like I say, it takes a couple of minutes for these things to come across. So, what else do I have for you? No. Well, stay safe. Do what you need to do. And if you have any questions, you can always email me. And I'll try and get you an answer as quick as I can. I usually monitor my email most of the time. Seeing no more questions, I'll cut you loose, and we will begin in earnest on Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock. So have a good Monday and a good Tuesday, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Take care. Okay. Hasta la vista. End stream.